It's about passion for a sport we all enjoy. It's about conservation, education, community, and fellowship. It's about a single voice of strength. It's about being part of a common cause for the common good. It's about you. It's about us. It's our time to come together.
We're asking you to join us
and become a proud members American Catfish Association. You'll be happy you did. They're doing a great job.
Yeah, they are.
Hey, welcome to ACA Live number 14. Tonight we're going to have an open forum and you have 100% of my attention in chat. And we're going to talk about anything you want to talk about. A couple things that I want to talk about first, and you guys can chime in on any of this, is there's a tournament coming up Labor Day weekend, September 4th. If you go to catfishingforkids.com, Brand Andrews is doing this. It's Fishing for a Cure. And this is going to be a great event. It's all the money raised is going to St. Jude's. And you have a chance to win a new Sea Art boat. If you're an ACA member, that's two boats. Two boats you have a chance to win. So if you don't have anything going on September 4th, make some time. Head over to Fishing for a Cure, catfishingforkids.com. Get signed up. There are already close to 50 teams already signed up. They're limited or capping it at 100 teams. So get signed up and help the kids. Hats off to Brad and everybody that's working with Brad and putting this together. Terrific cause, and I'm sure it's going to be a great event. So my weekend was kind of uneventful. Worked on a lot of different things. There were two good tournaments this past weekend, and I'll bring up those in a minute. So what's on your mind? I want to hear what everybody else is thinking. So we've got David Funk in the house, Lisa Haraway, Sean Davison, Jerry Dillard. Hey, Jerry's one of our tournament directors, an Alliance member. David Riles. David and his partner are kicking butt in the ACA points race. You know, if you haven't, there's still a lot of season left. If you haven't joined the ACA and you haven't, and you fish a lot of these tournaments, where there's 32 tournament and trails, 185 events in the ACA Alliance now. So you have a chance to get points every time you fish an ACA Alliance event. You're going to get points. And you also have a chance to win a new Sea Art boat, plus all sorts of great cash and prizes. And those are brought to you by the folks at Pure Fishing, which is Ugly Stick, Abu Garcia, Berkeley, and so many other great products. So make sure that if you are fishing these tournaments, go to jointheaca.com and sign up, get your membership, and be part of these events. It's been a lot of fun. People are chasing points and having a good time doing it. So where's Jeremy Skinny Busby? He is in Panama. He's on his honeymoon. I hope their marriage lasts forever and ever. Tasha's a lot of fun, and Skinny, well, we all know Skinny. He is a unique individual. Great guy. Love him to death. Adam Isaacs, Brian Mayo. By the way, Brian and Steve Hearn made a comment earlier today online, and they suggested that I wear rig wrap Speedos on the beach in Miami to pick up women. I just don't have words for that. No, I don't own a pair of Speedos, and nor would I ever wear a pair of Speedos on the beach in Miami. So, anyways, let's see. What is the latest update on ACA jerseys? David, the ACA jerseys are in the mail. They're UPS, and we got notice that they should be delivered no later than the 21st. So in the next day or two, they should be arriving. So that's where the jerseys are. The other merchandise, we had somebody ready to make them, and then they changed the numbers on us, and we've got somebody else now doing it. So those are in process. We've been getting beat up. If anybody knows a good company that makes T-shirts, hoodies, and those kind of things, let us know. I mean, some of these numbers are stupid, and the quality's horrible. So we want a good, a good quality product at a good price for y'all. And this is by no means a moneymaker for us. We'd love to find somebody that does a great job and isn't looking to retire on one order. Brian Mayo, you could have your rig wrapped. Yeah, it's exactly what it would be in a Speedo. Give me a break. Let's see. That's awesome news on the jerseys. But that was a very bad visual of USB. Yeah, David, hey, don't blame me. Brian Mayo and Steve Hearns are the one that brought this up. I had to make a comment, rebut what they said. But yeah, that's a horrible visual. Well, maybe not that bad, but anyways, Chris Ramsey. Chris Ramsey's the now chairman of the Tournament Alliance committee, and he's doing a terrific job with that. And all the guys in the Tournament Alliance are doing such a great job and working together, and it's great to see. Something came up a couple of weeks ago, and I brought it up last week, and I want to again thank so many of you for bringing it to our attention, that the state of Missouri is looking for public comments on some regulations that they're considering introducing. Let me explain how this works a little bit for those that may not know. When a commission asks for public comments, you can't. You want to make the comments. You want to either say yay or nay to what they're proposing, but you cannot propose, or you can, but they're not going to be considered. So if somebody says, "Well, I don't like this. It should be this," and you tell them this is the way it should be, they are not going to do that at this point, because then it would need to go out for public comment again. So what they're commenting on, or what they're asking for commenting on. And I'll just give you a brushstroke of it. They're talking about limiting blue catfish to 2 fish per angler per day at no more than 30 inches. And the other is going to be a bag limit, which I think is a good idea. It's interesting that most states tell you that, or suggest to you, that you don't eat 1 meal per month of wild-caught catfish, and that meal should consist of anywhere between 6 to 10 ounces per month per individual. Yet there are no bag limits on what folks can catch in a number of states. Makes no sense. So, it's real interesting how some of these. The state regulations and the state recommendations don't coincide whatsoever. And we're still trying to make heads or tails out of what current regulations are in Missouri to determine if these proposed regulations make sense based upon what they have. Now Missouri is probably one of the better states. They consider catfish a sport fish, which is great. But I can't find anything regarding transporting fish over live fish over state lines. And anything really on pay lakes. And I'm not sure pay lakes are a big deal in Missouri, but that's still to be determined. Anyways, we have till the middle of August to deliver our comments, which we will. That's that being said, there's Steve Hearn, Jeff Mayfield. Let's see here. Absolute peril for sure. Yeah, I mean, Adam, thank you for the tips. I know of a few of them. Patrick Gordon, it's good to know. A lot of that's the other thing too, is that, there are so many regulations, the different states and things like that. It's so difficult to be able to keep up on all of it. It's really challenging. So, that's where you guys come in and help us. If there's something that you're seeing that we need to bring it to our attention, please do. We're not for adding more regulation. We just want to see them kind of hone what they have. Tennessee, for example, has got great regulations. And it would be great to see, Tennessee and that whole Mid-South and Ohio Valley area kind of get on the same page and have the same regulations so that each state is contiguous, so that when you're fishing the Mississippi, no matter where you are, that it's, 1/34 and limits and this and that and everything else. So, but if you see something about regulations that you think, we need to address, let us know, please. Yeah, Adam, you mentioned Pay Lakes are buying from the more western states now that Ohio is going dry. Maryland, for example, has kind of opened up their waters as far as getting rid of blues and flatheads. They're invasive. They consider them invasive in that state. And I don't understand why they don't work something out there. But at the same time, I think that, look, Pay Lakes are never going to go away. It's kind of like commercial fishing. It's never going to go away. But to regulate it and to kind of manage things, to see that, that the states are managing these organizations, these small businesses for the most part, to operate responsibly. And there are plenty of aquaculture facilities out there where a cottage industry could be established to raise these fish for these Pay Lakes. But also limit the amount of fish that they have in these Pay Lakes based upon the size. And I hear so many other things about, they starve these fish to make them bite. They irritate them with chemicals, that kind of stuff. That's got to stop. But Dieter Milhorn's in the house. Hey, Dieter, it'll be nice to see regulations worded per boat and apply the per person to bank fishing. Well, Dieter, that's a possibility. I mean, there's, I think you have to be careful in what you ask for. We put together a petition for Kentucky a while back, and it started off pretty intense, but we were looking for suggestions, and we got plenty of them, and we've made changes as we go along with that petition. But you always, without giving away too much, when you have something like that you're going to go to a commission with, you're always going to want to ask for more than you're going to get. It's negotiations. So you're going to ask for this where everything is here, and somewhere in the middle is that happy medium that everybody can agree to. So when you see us trying to reach here, know that we're really shooting here. So keep that in mind. It's kind of all negotiations. But Dieter, to your point, per boat, per angler, that's certainly something that can be talked about with these commissions for sure. Adam Isaacs, well, you guys are seeing these questions. You know what? I can bring these questions up here, and that way we can all see it and talk about it. Adam, it's good that they at least have limits. A lot of states don't have limits at all. There's no bag limits. You go out and catch 100 catfish if you wanted, 200. I don't know what people do with them all. They must be having a big party, or they must be eating catfish breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I don't get it. Brian, anything cooking for the states of Arkansas and Mississippi? We're talking to them, but there's nothing that is anything immediate, Brian. Yeah, Paul, no limits in PA. See, in Pennsylvania. See, that's the thing. And again, I don't want to be, and when I say we as the ACA, you can't be too overreaching. Regulations are meant for the betterment of everybody. And, I personally am not a big fan of regulations, period. This is a free country. But at the same time, we need to be responsible for our fisheries. We need to be responsible, and because of those that tend to be irresponsible, regulations are needed so that we can at least keep certain boundaries that we can all, kind of abide by. And I think most of us do automatically. Florida should limit Glenn to 3 walks on the beach with a Speedo a month. Really? We're really going to go there with the Speedo again? David Funk, I bet you I look better in a Speedo than you ever would. So, anyways, David Funk brought something up that really needs to be talked about, and I failed to do it. So last week or the week before, David, and I apologize. He was talking about first aid kits on boats. How many of you have a first aid kit on your boat? Let me just see a Y or an N in the chat. Don't everybody do it at once. But anyways, first aid kits on the boat. David, I think you ran into a problem that maybe in chat, David, explain what you came across. I think you helped somebody out. They didn't have a first aid kit on board. Good. I'm seeing a lot of yeses. So it sounds like, David, that these folks that you helped out were kind of the odd man out. Where is a good first aid kit? Where can that be found? Anybody know? Is it on Amazon? Is it maybe Tackle Bandit or Dale's or Bass Pro? Where can they be found? Where's a good tackle or a good first aid kit, and where can it be found? When Cam is with you, you have a first aid kit. Yeah, well, it's probably a good idea, Brian. Amazon, hospital pharmacy, Granger. Yeah, I guess Granger would have some good first aid kits. Lowe's, good idea. Great suggestions, guys. Thank you. But yeah, Adam, I got one in a waterproof case from Rural King. Okay, never heard of Rural King, but I'm not in the rural area, so I wouldn't know about Rural King. So, anyways, I got a good question coming up here on the break. So let's see if you guys can answer this. So we're going to be back in 2 minutes. Actually, I think it's about a minute and a half.
Fear of failure is failure itself. The world of science rewards the ones who are willing to try and fail, because with the courage to fail and to learn, ideas can change the world.
Hey guys, Pipeline here. Do you want the absolute best when it comes to the performance of your reels?
Choose the company Tournament Anglers trust. From our top-notch reel services
to high-end quality terminal tackle.
Trust in
Pipeline Tackle.
It's about conservation, education, community, and fellowship. It's about being part of a common cause for the common good. It's about you. It's about us. It's our time to come together.
I can't believe all the B's. It was A. When barometric pressure falls, when it's low, fish become less active and the bite turns off. Wow. Now, see, all you guys, now I know why you're not catching fish. It's interesting. These questions. Yeah. Okay, Adam. Now you're cheating. Yeah. No. It's interesting, and the lower the barometric pressure gets, I mean, it's just worthless. But when it starts rising, gets higher, that bite turns on. So there you go. I'm really surprised. I was watching all the B's and I'm going, I forget, was it B? I'm thinking everybody couldn't be wrong. Guys, you'd be ashamed of yourselves. All right. So how about some tournament news from this weekend? There were 2 tournaments. Got notes in the back here. Twisted Cat in Cape Girardeau. It's 61 teams this weekend. Way to go, Alex. First place. These guys always do well. Rob Bennyfield, Scott Crest, and Rusty Morris with a total weight of 127.61 pounds. Congratulations, guys. Steve Henderson from Seark was fishing that tournament as well. He is determined to become a very, very good catfisherman. He certainly has a good boat to start with. So, second place, Brad Stout. Nice going, Brad. Andy Needham and Ty Needham with a total weight of 102.44 pounds. In third place was Steve Moore, Adam Moore, and Nate Moore with a total weight of 89.37 pounds. Big fish went to Bradley Monig. Is it Monig? Rachel Monig and Brian Holman with a big fish at 65.77 pounds. They also won fourth place with 82.58 pounds. Let's see here. Alabama Catfish Series, Roland Cooper Tournament. 16 teams participated. First place, Brian Taylor and Gary Ritchie. 64.2 total weight. Nice going, guys. They also had big fish at 44.2 pounds. Second place, Michael Hilliard and Amy Hilliard, 50.6 pounds. And third place was Thomas Thompson, cat collector, 43.7 pounds. So congratulations, everybody, for your win. Terrific. Great job. Some great tournaments coming up. I'm leaving Wednesday morning on my way to Caruthersville for the Cat Masters Caruthersville event. Should be a lot of fun. I look forward to seeing a lot of you that are going to be there. We're going to have some fun. George finally got his new boat. George Young, I'm speaking of. Spent all weekend. When I tell you all weekend, right through the night, he worked to rig up the boat. He put on his trolling motor. He put on his graph. He put his new batteries in. He's got all sorts of bells and whistles on this thing. The boat looks awesome. It's a new Sea Arc Dynasty. Fantastic, fantastic boat. So hopefully on Thursday, I'm going to get out and do a little fishing with George. He's we're going to do a little drone filming as well. So if you see a drone flying around the Mississippi on Thursday, don't worry, it's just me. We'll have some fun. Yeah, Brian Norsworthy and Terry Rogers finished 5th at the Twisted Cat event. Sorry, Brian, I should have brought that up. What was your weight, Brian? What was your total weight? Chad Mayfield, does Ohio and Kentucky have restocking programs for all the fish they are removing? Chad, there are restocking programs. As a matter of fact, we were just talking about this last week. U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service has 70 hatcheries around the country. And I know Indiana, I spoke with a biologist in Indiana last week. They have, I think she said they had 7 in Indiana, and she said that was low. I don't know for sure whether Ohio and Kentucky have hatcheries. Likelihood is they do. Now, what they're stocking, where they're stocking it, I don't know. Indiana does stock catfish. And I know many of the other states do as well. Please tell me you fished out of the tube. Not sure what that means. Brian Nordry, 78.9 pounds. Well, you guys were close to being in the money. Nice job. Okay. Going back to the first aid kit, I had asked David Funk what had happened 4th of July weekend. A guy punctured an artery in his forearm and didn't have a first aid kit. I'm not sure a first aid kit would have fixed a punctured artery. Just grab a tourniquet, take him to the hospital. Well, I assume, David, I think talking with you that everything worked out okay. So good to hear. Okay, you guys are talking about the tube. All right, so what else do we have? Carruthersville's coming up on Friday and Saturday. If you don't have anything, if you're not fishing the event, I think there's still some room in there. So get in there and sign up for Carruthersville. It's capped off at 100 boats, and I think they're like 90 something right now. So there is still some room to get in there. It's going to be a lot of fun. The city of Carruthersville is really going to do a great job. They've got catfish cook-off. They've got Bloody Mary contest. This is all going to happen over at Grizzly Jig. And there's going to be some great tackle specials. So if you're in the area, get down to Carruthersville and to Grizzly Jig, and that's where the weigh-in's going to be as well. So, we'll have some fun there. And then in August, there are several more events, one in which, again, Cat Masters in Helena. And Kevin Smith, the mayor of Helena, does such a great job in supporting the catfish community. They're really rolling out the red carpet. And then September, there'll be another Twisted Cat event. As I mentioned, September 4th, Fishing for a Cure. If you go to catfishingforkids.com, get signed up for that. Want to raise money for St. Jude's, and you have a chance to win a new Sea-Ark boat. It's terrific. Just terrific. So that should be a good event, and that's capped at 100 boats as well. You've got Alton coming up in September. You've got, and then, my favorite event of the year, of course, Mississippi River Monsters in Memphis. And that should be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So, anyways. And then I think in Cat Masters again, they've got one coming up. I want to speak out of turn. I think in October in Kansas. And then I think they're going to also they're moving Tunica. That event is going to be, I believe, in November. So there's a lot going on in the fall. So if you haven't joined as an ACA member and you do fish these tournaments, sign up. It's $50. You get a chance to win some great prizes, get some points, chance to win a new Sea Arc boat, custom wrapped, all sorts of goodies on board. And there's all sorts of tremendous resources and benefit programs and everything else as an ACA member. And we really could use your help and support. And we do appreciate all those that have signed up already, and look forward to many, many more coming on board. Okay. You guys are going, let's see here. Paul Tower, is there any literature or scientific evidence proving fatheads and blues are not killing all the bass and other fish? You bring this up here, Paul. Paul, the problem that exists out there is that the science, in other words, when we go into a state or a commission, and granted, we all know there's a lot of passionate people out there about conservation and catfish, et cetera. We see it every day on social media. That we can't go in there with just a demand. We're not catching as many fish. Something's wrong. This is bad or that is bad. This is the way it should be. And that's all well and good. And quite frankly, you as anglers, we as anglers, have a better feel for what's going on out there than most. But we don't have the science. And we can't make a demand based upon assumption. We've got to have the science. The problem is that there's not enough data out there to be able to put together the right science. And the states don't have the resources to do it. So it's really kind of chasing your tail on a lot of this, and it's frustrating. We want to have some studies done, but they're costly. And I mean, these things aren't cheap. I mean, you're talking $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 per state, per area, region. So the science is definitely going to be the biggest thing that we can put forth to any of these commissions to make our argument that this should be changed or, this should be put in place. So it takes time, and we're little by little, we're getting there. So, bear with us, join us, help us make the difference, as we say. David Funk, Ohio has hatcheries. They've been stocking a few lakes in Ohio with blues. Last week I caught my first 40-pound. Okay. Yeah. When they release these fish from these hatcheries, by the way, they're releasing tens of thousands. Just the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service releases somewhere in the neighborhood of 250 to 260 plus million fingerlings and hatchlings and fries every year. It's incredible. You should see some of the equipment that they have. They've got a system, and I think they contract for it out in the Northwest. And these little fingerlings, I mean, they're this big. They go through a system. They go through tubes that are actually measured and separated based upon length, and they go into a system that actually, with a video, they lock them into place and they clip one of the dorsals, and that's how they mark these fish. And it's done automatically. This piece of equipment goes on for 100 feet. It is the most bizarre piece of equipment. It must have cost them tens of millions of dollars to put this together, but it was incredible. Ken Smith. Hey, Ken is on the conservation committee. And if those that don't know who Ken Smith is a retired Tennessee Fish and Wildlife warden and also a biologist, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet and one of the most knowledgeable guys when it comes to our fisheries and what works and what doesn't. And Ken just said he agrees 100%, and I believe he's agreeing with my comment regarding the science. We've got to have the science. We can't just go in there on assumption and desire. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and we're at it every day. You may not hear a lot of what we're doing. I know some people say that we should be giving you a report, all the time, and we report on things that are really monumental, and we need your help with. In the meantime, we just go about our business and put our head down and move forward and work hard on behalf of the catfish community. Believe me, those that know those involved, we're workaholics. I'm 7 days a week. There's not a time you can't pick up the phone and call me and find me. I sleep with my phone. And that's the other thing too, is if you have a question or a comment, pick up the phone and give us a call. Send us an email. A lot of folks tend to use social media and the threads to make their comments, and that accomplishes nothing. Sometimes you're embarrassing other people. Sometimes you're embarrassing yourself. What happened to picking up the phone and having a one-on-one conversation with somebody or sending an email? I don't get it. But hey, that's your business, not mine. Let's spin the prize wheel. I hear you, Brian. It's a good idea. Tell you what, we're going to take our last break. We're going to come back and we're going to give something away. As soon as I can find out what button I got to push. There it is.
No matter how hard you try, keeping your rigs tangle-free is, well, challenging. Well, not anymore with Rig Wrap. Staying tangle-free has never been easier. Just wrap, close, rinse, and store. Simple, right?
Wow.
No matter the rig, Rig Wrap has a storage solution to keep you tangle-free. From conveniently small to offshore extra large, you'll never worry about tangled rigs ever again. Rig Wrap, the world's best fishing rig storage solution.
Hey, I just saved a whole bunch of money on my hotel room for this tournament. Do you know that ACA has over 800,000 businesses in that discount program?
Man, have y'all seen the resources on the ACA website? I mean, they've got everything on there you need to know about catfish.
All that stuff is great, but look at what they're doing for conservation. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm not a member. Hello, ACA?
Cat River Anchors.
Ha! Adam and David, you're the only two that got it right. Yeah, I was kind of surprised when I found that the circle hook was actually invented over 100 years ago. It came back into fashion probably about 20, 30 years ago. But probably more in the last 20 years, it's been real popular. But yeah, 100 years ago. Pretty cool. If you have a trivia question for us, pass it along. It's tough coming up with these. It really is. Anyways, I got a prize wheel behind us. Last week we did things backwards, and I kind of like that. So we're going to pick the winner first. No, how did we do that? We spun first, and then we picked the winner? I forget. Adam, you won a great job. Pat on the back. Trivia questions are just there for fun. And hopefully we all learn something. I know every week I do. I'm out researching all this stuff, and I'm always finding interesting stuff. So That's what you want. You want a day of fishing with David Funk. How's that? David, take Adam fishing, would you? Or Adam, take David fishing. All right. So we're going to spin this for the prize, and now we're going to determine who won it. Good idea? A 1-year membership to the ACA. Congratulations to the person that's coming up here. Now, if you already have a membership, you're going to get your renewal for free. You ready? Matthew McWriter. Matthew McWriter. Matthew, if you would, please send me an email at info@acafishing.com with all your information. And we will, if you're already a member, thank you. And we will get your membership renewed. If you're not, we will get you your membership to the American Catfishing Association in place. And we would welcome you and thank you for your support. So, who won a free cold liver and peanut butter sandwich from George Young Septic Tank? What? Brian, sometimes I don't understand what you're asking. There must be something behind that. Anyways, so who here is going to be in Caruthersville? Anybody? Well, if you are, come say hello. I'm going to have a few of our catch, release, repeat decals with me. So if you want one, let me know. Anyways, thank you for tuning in tonight. It's I'd love to hear. Wait a minute. I have a topic. Trailering, yay or nay? Personally, I think trailering should not be allowed except in certain conditions. Chad, okay, trailering. This is a good topic, and we're going to do this real quick before we sign off here. You know, Chad, I felt the same way you did about trailering a few years ago, and there has been a lot of discussion about it between myself and several anglers that are very accomplished. And he said that fish in a live well, going down the Mississippi River, get bounced around in that live well as bad, if not worse, than when they're in a trailer being transported. Okay, that's a good argument. Another one, too, is that a lot of anglers now, and Brian St. Alma with Cat Masters is kind of leading the way on this, is oxygen, especially these warmer summer months. Our oxygen systems in your live well and making sure the live well is large enough. That's why you see a lot of tournaments now going to like a minimum live well size of 50 gallons. Trailering can be done responsibly. And actually the fish would be harmed less because going down the road is going to be less brutal on that fish than going down the river. Now, granted, you can stop, you can pump some fresh water through when you're in the river. And a lot of guys will keep water in the back of their pickup and they'll recirculate the water in a live well. I mean, that's how well they take care of these fish. Now, something that I know George and I are very, very proud of is last year at MRM. As many of you know, MRM usually has been launched from Mud Island, and that's it. But because of COVID, we opened it up to trailering last year, and people went as far south as Rosedale. And if you know where that is, it's a good hour or so south. Not one fish was lost last year at MRM, not one. And that goes to the anglers who took care of these fish. So if you're responsible, you have the right setup in your boat, in your truck, I think that trailering is doable. Is it the preferred method? Probably not. And I don't think that anybody would would think that it is, but it is something that you can do and do it responsibly. So, you know, it is what it is. There's certain ramps that can not hold that many boats, and you need a trailer. But again, I think if it's done responsibly and you have the right equipment, that I think trailering is okay. Not, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, trailering may be considered a 7, and, you know, obviously weighing right there at the ramp is the 10. But I think there's a lot of difference of opinion out there. That's fine. But I think that the proof is we're seeing it now, where trailering and those that are taking care of these fish responsibly, it's turning out well. So hopefully that continues, and I know it will. I know there's a lot of very, very, very good and responsible anglers out there. Their setups are second to none. So hats off to them. Anyways, I'm going to sign off. I got a couple of days worth of, I got a week's worth of work to do in a couple of days, so I can get on a plane on Wednesday and head up to Caruthersville. So I appreciate everybody tuning in and being part of this. I'm wish we had a few more questions, but that's okay. Next time we're going to do this once a month, as promised. So thanks for joining us, and have yourself a great week, a great weekend. Hope to see you in Caruthersville. If not there, tournament down the road. Good night.
It's about passion for a sport we all enjoy. It's about conservation, education, community, and fellowship. It's about a single voice of strength. It's about being part of a common cause for the common good. It's about you. It's about us. It's our time to come together.
We're asking you to join us
and become a proud members American Catfish Association. You'll be happy you did. They're doing a great job.
Yeah, they are.